Wonderful. Let us begin by placing our awareness in the area of the heart, taking slow, deep breaths, visualizing these breaths flowing in and out of your heart, and just taking deep, gentle, slow breaths. Just maintain that awareness in the area of the heart and draw these slow, deep breaths in and make these breaths very slow. And just draw them in and visualize them flowing in your heart. And when you exhale, exhale as slowly as you inhaled. Make these breaths symmetrical. Your heart will love you for it. See if you can slow your breathing down even more and make your breaths even more deeper without it being too uncomfortable. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and welcome to this morning's edition of your Monday morning Espresso shot. So today our topic is the string that binds us. And this came up in a conversation I had with a friend of mine, and we talked about how we have these strings that we are bound to. And it goes back to a story, and it's an ancient Persian, I believe it's a Persian story, where a baby elephant, the trainer tied a baby elephant's legs, one of his legs, to a tree stump. And the baby elephant could not get away because it was a heavy chain. And so the baby elephant initially, as you would imagine, fought and fought and fought to try and get away in this way. And the baby elephant only did that to its dismay, because of course the chain and the tree trunk were too much for the elephant to get away from. And so this happened for a year or two, and then the baby elephant basically began to grow to an adult. And as it grew, it began accustomed to be tied to the tree. And although the trainer now replaced the chains with a very small string tied to a tree trunk, the elephant didn't even try to get away, because it had memories from its childhood that said that if I try to get away and break this particular string, I'm going to be bleeding around my ankles. I will just be disappointed. And so I won't even try because I don't want to get hurt. Now, what's the moral of that story? And of course, this is just a metaphor or an allegory. But what's the moral of this story? The moral of this story is that when we were being brought up as children, we were accustomed to believing things that we were told. Generally, when we were brought up, we listened to adults or somebody more influential than us. And they would say that, no, you can't do this, you must do this, you'll never achieve this. Or you tried something and you failed once. In your mind, you failed once. Perhaps you didn't do well in high school. Or perhaps you tried to make friends out of strangers, and it went badly or poorly in your mind, in your perception. So you tried that and it didn't work in the past. That chain becomes a small string around our feet right now, because we will not try that because we're afraid that we're going to get hurt, and so we give up. What we don't realize is that we're different now. Circumstances are different, times are different, and the chain around our ankles is just a string, and we can easily break away from it. We just have to try and give it a shot. So is there something in your life that is holding you back, that you hear yourself in your mind chatter say, no, this will never work, or I've tried this before, it didn't work, or I've made friends in this situation and I've always been disappointed? If you've said that before and you haven't tried it in a while, you're a different person. That chain is now a string. So why don't you break free? Why don't you break loose? Why don't you take a chance and just experience and explore life all over again? Explore this life anew, because this is a new you. And so rediscover life by breaking that string that binds us. So that is really my comment for today. If you have any comments on something that this particular topic triggers for you, please type them into the comments area, and I'll be happy to respond either live right now, or if you're seeing a replay, happy to respond that way. All right, so this is the string that binds us. So let's break free of our string, and let's find new ways of doing old things and experience success and joy in doing those. All right, wonderful. That is our topic for today, and now let us begin to do a quick coherence technique. And of course, this technique adds one more layer of joy, which actually amplifies our ability to break that string and dissolve it completely. So let's place our awareness in the area of the heart, taking slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, and just take those slow, deep, gentle breaths. And now experience a positive feeling, something that brings you joy, compassion, love, gratitude, appreciation. Just feel that, elevate those feelings, and just draw that into your heart as you take these slow, deep, gentle breaths, visualizing them flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would, and just bring forward past memories or future visualizations of something that gives you joy and gratitude while you take these slow, deep, gentle breaths as they flow in and out of your heart. Keep that awareness in the area of the heart, and just experience your chest rising and returning to its normal state as you take these slow, deep breaths. And when you experience regenerative emotions, just allow these to flow into your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is the Monday Morning Espresso Shot edition for today, and appreciate you spending some time with me here today. So, if there are any questions, please type them in. And while you're typing those in, I'm excited to join the Ignite members a few days from now on Saturday at 9 o'clock to talk about harmonizing and anchoring star energies. And here we will discuss how we are connected with nature and natural forces, and what we can do to establish a coherent field while we are navigating this star changes or energy fields from the star. I also wanted to let you know that another vision board affirmation videos are coming called Deepening Relationships, and these are all available as part of your Shine and Ignite membership. And in less than 2 weeks, I'll be joining my family, Cryon family, in Shasta. So if you're going to be joining there, I look forward to seeing you. And then in December, with the same people, I'll be doing a workshop in the Riviera Maya. And just announced a workshop. If you are in the Alberta area, do check out the Banff Wellness Conference. And that is where you'll have a lineup of speakers, and I'll be one of them, delivering a 2-hour presentation called Heart-Centered Leadership. Excellent. So, time for Q&A. Are there any questions? And I think there's one come through. Anne and Cecile said, loving the unlovable, beginning with me. It is not only possible, but doable, as we have changed in understanding with time. Brings so much joy. Thank you, Shamir. And that is a big one. It is about loving. I wouldn't say it's loving the unlovable, because you are not unlovable. But certainly in the past, perhaps most of us, and you may not be the only one here, but most of us did not really appreciate ourselves or love ourselves. We saw ourselves through the lens of somebody else who did not perhaps appreciate us in the way we appreciate us. And so today you're unraveling that and saying that is no longer the tether or the chain I'm going to be tied to, and I will now love myself. So thank you so much for that, Cecile and Anne. Yes, do love yourself, because that is very important in our path and in our journey to mastery. And let's break that string. That's the first string we need to break. How wonderful. I don't see any more comments or questions coming through. So just wanted to thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Take care.